What's up, Jesse? Rocky.
Hey.
What's up?
All right. Awesome. Not too much. Chilling. Trying to get the camera set up a little bit better. I feel like I did something wrong to it.
Do you want the blinds closed?
Maybe just a tiny bit.
Can I help you?
Sure. You realize how difficult it is to actually record things with video well when you start trying to do it all the time in your own home.
Does that look better?
That's better. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so today, man, those these are open.
I'm sorry, I opened those.
Oh, that's better. All right, so okay, so today we're gonna review the armbar work that we did. Same kind of setup, same warm up and stuff. And then I'm just pulling up the curriculum. And then yeah, we'll just kind of move through it in a similar manner that we did last time. We're kind of focusing on one theme this week, which is arm bars. So we'll get started with that. We're doing our judo footwork. I need a better place to plug my phone in. I think it'll last for right now. So we're starting with our judo footwork. And the way that's gonna look is we're gonna do our uchikomis, right? And I could use the line here just to show you guys one more time. If I'm using this straight line like this, or if you have shoes or flip-flops, you can take them, put them upside down so you don't get the mats dirty. And you could put those on the ground to represent your partner's feet, all right? In fact, let me get my other shoes that have white bottoms. You can see better. Kind of white, they have green bottoms. I'll put them like this. And I'm gonna use those to represent my partner's feet, okay? So when I do these, I stand kind of facing the feet, and then I'm gonna step in 1, and then my other foot 2. I wanna make sure my feet are inside of those feet, and then I pivot. That's the general idea. So we step, and then our back foot cross steps, parallel, right on the same line. I wanna be on the balls of my feet, and now I'm gonna rotate with my knees bent. What I'm trying to do is get my hips and my knees inside of my partner's hips and his knees so I can elevate with my hip, all right? I can't lift him for a throw if his hip line's higher than mine. If my hip line's higher than my partner's. If my hip is up high up here and his hip is down here, I have to drop to get my hip in order to lift, all right? So let's get started on that. Let me set a timer. And we will get going. We'll go 2 minutes. Let's go with our uchikomis. Let's go. Oh man, my knee hurts. What I did to it. If you just joined us, we're doing our uchikomis footwork drill, getting our bodies warmed up. Paying attention to our footwork. Trying to maintenance our machine. All right, we can't use it to output a bunch of high-level jiu-jitsu right now because we're restricted, but we can maintenance the machine. We can get every part working really well, get the small little components greased up, get them lubricated. We can run tests on the machine, fine-tune it, get it more precise, and that's what we're doing with these solo drills and drills with our partners and grappling dummies. Time. All right, using the same idea as the shoes, right? I can put these shoes back down and we'll practice our single leg. All right, so I'll stagger them for single. I'll put 1 foot in the front and 1 foot in the back. Damn shoe. Well, let's put it sideways. All right, so the footwork is staggered, all right? I want to put my lead foot closest to the shoe that's closest to me. All right, the other one is back over there. So for single leg, I'm going to line up our toes. They're going to match. When I take my shot, I need to slot out right next to the foot, not on it, but next to it, as if I'm trying to step on the shoelace. All right, so I'm going to step out. And then I know in my mind's eye, there's a shoe there, so I can imagine a leg. So I'm going to swoop down into this duck walk, boom, and scoop up this leg. Now to finish, I step up with my back leg. 1, 2, and I pinch. Because we know their foot is going to be caught in between our thigh. We want to pinch and step out, boom, and finish. So we map our lead leg up to our staggered feet. We step to the right, like we're stepping to the outside to step on the shoelace. We drive our knees forward, boom, we pick up that leg, step, pinch, dip. All right? I'm going to move these shoes for this. But if you need them, you can use them. All right, let's get going. I'll set the clock. We'll bang these out. Try to go left side and right side. My knees are bothering me a little bit today, so I'm going to go really slow. I guess that happens once you get to where the 4 is the first digit in your birth date, and there's more than one. Got about 10 seconds. Finish that last rep. Time. All right. Now we're going to go double leg. Let me show you with the feet. Again, for double leg, we'll set the footwork staggered again with the right foot in the front and the left foot in the back. All right. But now, when I take my shot, instead of lining up toe to toe, I'm going to actually switch and I'm going to be opposite. Instead of being mirror, I'll be opposite. So my foot, my lead leg is opposite my partner's lead leg. Now this step, instead of stepping to the outside, I take my lead leg and I step into the middle. All right. What I'm trying to do now when I step, I'm still snatching up the leg here on the outside, the same one that I was getting on the single, but I'm also trapping the other one here too. Not necessarily trying to connect my hands. Not that it's wrong if you do, but you're not necessarily trying to do that. I am trying to get control of both legs. So when we grab, we kind of wrap our hands around the calf, almost like we're holding little footballs. Boom, all right? Now I'm gonna step up to the outside and I'm gonna turn my body towards my partner's body. Over here, there's nothing over here. Boom, so I gotta turn this way, all right? So my partner's in front of me. I'm stepping into the middle, grabbing the legs, following up. When I step up, boom, I turn the corner, all right? Let's get that ready. We will go 2.5 on double legs. All right, let's go.
Coach Tim, sorry, I'm going to make a little bit of noise.
Oh, it's okay.
Thank you, Coach Tim. Can I get it like this before I go? Bye, guys.
Got about 10 seconds. Nice. All right. Let's go. One we forgot to do last time. Shadow sit outs to the back or peek outs. Okay. So we start on all fours. My partner in this situation is on north-south, okay? So like I went in for my shot and they sprawled. So they're sprawled out on top of me. I would be like this maybe with my arms up, like trying to grab them. All right. So I'm gonna step up, elbow up. My head needs to peek out. I need to be able to see up. Now I'm gonna slide this leg through. One, but I don't want to stop here because they're gonna fall into that space right to the right of my shoulder. I want to latch onto their hip and take a big step behind them and try to come up on their back, knowing that you're either going to get the turtle or your partner, when you come behind them, they're going to do this and sit and turn into you. All right. You just have to be ready. So the drill, again, you have to use your imagination. We're shadow grappling. That a partner sprawled out on top of you. You step, elbow, peek, sit through, big step, boom, and come to the back. All right. Let's do it. Let me set the timer. Let's go. I'm going to open these windows up behind me. Time. All right. On your back, we get our leg circles in. All right. Get those feet up. We'll go 2 minutes and go. How are you?
I'm doing good, Tim. I love you.
Sweet.
I'm just looking for my water.
Time. All right, now we got hip ups. You guys already know how to do those. We're gonna elevate our hip and shoot them up to the sky. We'll go a minute with our hips going up, and then we'll do a minute where we tap our toe and roll forward and hip through. All right, let me set the timer, and let's go. The thing about doing jujitsu by yourself is you can't blame your training partner for how bad it still smells. You can only blame yourself. All right, now we're gonna roll through. All right. Damn, y'all. Get a drink of water. I'm gonna go get mine, and then we'll get into some more work.
Hey, Kyle, even though we're on a quarantine jujitsu style, still keep your shoulders shrugged so your neck don't be popping out when we get back on the mat. No neck, Kyle.
All right. How y'all doing? Good. My knees are barking at me today, man. I got on the scale, man. 210 pounds. It's pathetic, dude. I got to get to work. Swinging the kettlebell and riding the rowing machine is not making up for how much I'm eating, unfortunately. So I'll be bringing lots of beef. Let's go. What do we got? We got arm bars for days, all right? So we've been looking at the arm bar from the back specifically, all right? And we've been talking about the idea when you're getting an arm bar, we've been kind of mixing in this idea, not making it a big major part, but we've been circling back to this idea of understanding, you know, like when you get on the back, for instance, let's say I get on my grappling dummy's back, okay? And I know that the back position, it takes there's several different modalities to it, all right? So like I could be on the back like this, where we're seated. We could be laying. I could be up on top and they could be down like this. But I still have to ride this position and keep it and maintain it. all right, regardless of where my partner goes. In fact, my partner might try to use rolling movement to get away and to maybe turn in or to turn out. And I have to be able to kind of follow that and stay with that. Are you guys with me on that idea? Right? Yeah. So the arm bar is no different, all right? And what I mean is when I got an arm lock on somebody, depending on, you know, where I get the arm bar from, but especially if it's from a position where I'm not flat on my back 100% or my partner's not flat. So if my partner's flat on his back, I'm usually pretty chill to hit a classic arm bar, all right? But if he's not on his back, meaning he's turned in like this already here, or I'm turned in here, I have to make decisions about how I'm going to keep this arm bar. I'm either going to put him down flat on his back to finish, or if I judge that like he has too much power coming up to the top, then I have to roll with the arm bar. And that's where we do that drill where we roll our hip down and then we turn to the feet, always to the feet. That's how we get the arm bar. It's no different than when I'm on my partner's back and he starts rolling away and I got to go with him and stay with it. All right. The arm bar is the same idea. If I'm here and he starts rolling forward, I'm not going to finish like this. I mean, you might, but it's difficult. Okay. We generally have to roll through and look at the feet. Boom. And either we get it here or they flip over and we end up back in a normal arm lock position. So we have to keep this idea in mind when we're getting the arm bar from the back, because if it doesn't happen the way we want it to happen, we may have to roll through and invert to get the arm bar. And if you don't know how to do that properly, or you don't understand why you need to do it, you're going to end up losing arm bars because you won't follow that inversion all the way through to look at the feet. You'll stop and you'll keep looking at the head and cranking on the arm, and it's much harder to get. All right. So the problem that we kind of run into with the back arm lock is this idea, and we're going to do our switch drills, but this idea of when I bring my leg over, I have to make some choices, right? I either have to push the head and frame it out so my leg doesn't travel a huge distance, right? And, you know, traditionally, like you bring the leg over the head. Well, the problem with this is good players, they catch the foot, they stuff it down, and you have to invert or you can't finish the arm. Or you got to be really strong and put them on their back. All right. So we've been working with an idea of trying to minimize that. All right. We'll get back to that idea, but we're going to use this as an opportunity to look at our back switching. All right. And we're just dealing with the idea when we get the arm bar from the back, we get it on the underhook side. All right. So let me fish the pool noodle through a little better. So when I set this arm bar up, I need myself to be able to stay on my partner's underhook side, okay? So we're gonna practice that just a little bit. So I'm here, I have an underhook and an overhook, and I'm nice and tight. I set my head on the shoulder, and his head's here, so I have the right arm alignment. My head, his head, my choking arm, all right? I'm gonna fall to my shoulder. Again, I wanna keep my head in place so the escape route doesn't open up. If my head shifts out, the escape route opens up, all right? So my head stays in nice and tight. I'm gonna hook the arm and I'm gonna bite across my partner's belt line. The best that I can, I need a tight hook. If I let that hook drop, he's gonna be able to set right over it. Well, I'm sorry, we're doing our back switches. I got caught up in the back movement in the arm bar. Again, so back switching will be like this, sorry, from seated here. And I'm going to switch this configuration to the other side. So I'm going to start pushing. And as I start pushing with my choking arm, kind of like a crossface, I'm going to allow my head to slide to the back. Now, as I do this, I'm going to clamp up with my left leg on the same side as my choking arm. I'm gonna nudge him to that side. Boom. All right, because what's happening is right now I'm on the right side and he's on my left side, but I want to switch it to where he's on the right and I'm on the left. All right. So in order to do that, when I start pushing his head, I got to move my head out of the way. Right. And as he slots over to the other side, I nudge him with the leg to kind of compel him to go over. I still have my underhook over here, keeping his exit route slightly off. As I bring him up, I'm going to let the underhook side go, and I'm going to get underneath his neck again. And I like to kind of push like I'm doing this to the head, like a chop block. All right. I'm going high and low, high on the head, low on the neck. All right. So I'm here. I'm pushing it over. Boom, boom. And then my arm comes in. Bam, here. And now I let go and I adjust. And my head's on the opposite side. And we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to release. I'm going to push the head over. My other arm comes out and I push it to the side. You could use this hand here to help by grabbing the shoulder and pulling. You can even do it this way, which is fine. When you open up, you can bring this hand across the top of the head and pull the head over and get your head down. That's fine too. All right. So let's work through some of these. We'll do them for a minute or so. We're just working on switching that configuration from side to side. All right, let's go. Time. All right, now we can do the same idea, but we're going to do it in motion. So we're going to start on the ground. I'm going to pull my partner to the other side. As I do that, I'm going to put this foot on the ground. And a lot of times this is in response to an escape attempt. Like I'm here and I have tight hooks. My partner starts to kind of kill this hook and elevate the hip. And I don't want him to slide over my foot and hip and escape. So as he elevates, I put that foot on the ground and I pivot off of it and I take him the other way. And as I take him the other way, I switch my grip. 1, 2, because I want my head on the inside. Again, I put my foot down, I pull, I push, boom, and I switch. And it's never going to be as clean with a grappling dummy as it is with a human. But you just kind of work through it and you kind of try to reinforce the idea in your mind's eye as you kind of work through the shadow grapple. All right, let's go. Let me set the timer again and we'll just work through these till we're ready. on. All right, so let's look at, let me put this belt on, this armbar drill now, and we could use the transition to set up the arm lock, all right? So I know last time we kind of just hit the arm lock and set it up almost static. This time we could actually use the movement of the transition as kind of the catalyst, all right? So keeping this transition in mind, the one we're working with right now, it would look like this. So I got my partner, he's here. I'm gonna start on this side here. My head's down. I apologize for the bright sunlight. All right, my head's on the left right here. All right, I step, I push, and as I make the switch and my arm gets under here, as soon as I get here, this top side arm rotates around and I push the head and I bring the leg over. I'm just trying to clear his shoulder. All right, so let me show you from this side. Just getting over the shoulder. You don't have to get all the way over the head. You can, but you don't have to. All right, you just clear the shoulder. Now I'm gonna use that to swing my hip to the side, to the left. And as I sit up, I'm gonna use my left arm back here as a kickstand to prop me up. This is gonna help keep me in position, all right? Now I have choices to make, right? I can go for the arm lock or like we were playing earlier, we were reaching our hand through and grabbing our own shin and pulling our partner in to this rear triangle position. And then looking at the arm lock, getting underneath it. This one is nice here, right? You could cup the elbow, hit this one. A lot of good opportunity, all right? But we're trying to find this off of the transition, okay? So when we drill this now, I'll set the timer. I want you to take your time and start on one side here, like this, and set your foot down, hit that pivot. So you bring your underhook side out, comes over, your other one reaches under, and as you catch this top hand, look, it swivels around and I push the head. I want to bring my leg over the shoulder, and now I sit up and I post my hand. And now I want to scoot my hip back a little bit. That gives me a little more base. I can reach through and grab my shin. I crank it up nice and tight. I anchor my knee on the mat, and I lock this triangle at the top. Make sense? All right, let's get started. Set the timer on 5 minutes for this one. Let's go. All right. look real quick. Good, Kyle. Anchor your right knee on the mat, Kyle. Put that right knee right there. Put it on the ground. Yep. Nice. So the armbar opportunity we're running into here is off of the back, right? And we're using the back triangle. You could get into that position the same way using the straight jacket, you know, like, so I'm trying to choke him and I'm hand fighting and I control this inside grip. And as I start pulling down on the collar, I know his top arm tries to defend. And remember, we open our leg and we stuff the hand down and we trap it. Now that I'm here, I could just as easily open this up and sit my partner up, and move right into the same back triangle. Whoosh, bam. All right. This triangle shows up here, and it also, the same triangle style shows up on a traditional armbar when you're here like this and you're trying to get it, but you're having trouble. Say they're protecting the arm, and we take our inside foot here and we thread it through. So I'm here and I'm trying to get it, but he's protecting his arm. He's holding it really tight and I'm having trouble. I can bring my inside foot back and post it through, right? Now I scoop my hand under the head the same way. I grab my leg, boom, and I got him in that back triangle again, and I get on the arm. So you could get there, you can go straight to it, or you could actually be in the armbar position itself first and then transition into the back triangle, or tri-bar, I should say. So knowing these things, these are what we call enhancers, right? Like it's one thing to know the armbar and that makes it powerful. But then when you know all the enhancers or decorators, like, you know, an empty room is really cool. Like, wow, this den, it's 20 by 20 and it's a nice empty big room. So much you could do. Well, you got to start decorating it, right? That's how an armbar is. Like, wow, so much. An armbar, it's awesome. Start decorating the armbar. You start enhancing it, adding these little things to it that you can do, right? And it makes it that much more powerful. Okay. Find my noodle. My noodle on. I gotta get a longer pool noodle arm. This guy's arm keeps retracting into his body.
We need to get Kyle a stand. Seems like he's having some trouble over there fumbling camera around. It keeps flashing to him because he's not on mute. So every time it muffles, he comes up on the screen all bug-eyed looking at us like, what's wrong with my camera?
We should do what I should do is like buy a little cheap webcam and give it to people when they sign up. Tell them it's part of their online training kit. A webcam, a little grappling dummy guy. But again, we're just looking at ways like, how do we maintain this underhook position And then how do we get to the armbar from here, right? Boom. And we're using this little cheat by going foot over the shoulder first and then getting our partner down, coming over or transitioning to the back triangle, all right? Super duper straightforward, no rocket science in here at all. Like we're just repeatedly going down these same paths here because those are the paths to go down. If you're dealing with somebody with a gi on, you know, when you get into these positions, what's nice is you can use the jacket now to start threatening the choke. And you can actually use the lapel to pull and trap and play the game, right? It's a real serious, this is a real serious bad problem to be in with the jacket because of the collar. It's already bad, but when there's no collar, it's like one less thing to worry about. This is like now I just tied a rope around your neck. Imagine doing no-gi with a belt strapped around your neck. That's what this is right here, just a belt, just strapped around your neck the whole time you're grappling. And anytime you mess up, that belt can be cinched up against you. That's what, if you actually look at the material on the lapel, it's actually a belt. Look at it and look at a belt. It's the same thing. It's draped around your neck. And you have, and now if we did no-gi and I said, here, Casey, take my belt and drape it around your neck while we train, you'd be like, hell no, you can't. Well, that's what the gi is, draped around your neck. So it forces you defensively to be really super aware of all the chokes and all the grip work, because if somebody latches onto a tight grip or a tight lapel, you're hosed. So it forces your defense to be impeccable. You have to constantly be on the guard for everything that's happening, breaking and gripping and fighting and getting away, boom, 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 right? So it's a good idea, if you guys can, to train both, all right? So here, we're looking at that position, okay?
Hey, Tim.
Yes.
So when you have your leg over the shoulder and it's trapped,
Yes.
you have that, isn't that looks like a variation of the straight jacket? And you can also go back to the choke on that side, wouldn't you be able to?
Yeah, for sure. So what Rocky's saying here is when you have this position here, boom, right? And you clamp and you push and you trap the leg, yeah, you for sure can swing back around and start threatening the choke, especially if you can control this inside hand. If you control the inside hand, then there's no defenders now on the neck. And it becomes a matter of getting your thumb bone underneath the knuckle line, right underneath their neck, nice and tight, boom, pulling it back. 100%, yeah. So you have options, right? You can get here going for the choke and decide, you know what? This is no good. I don't want this. I'm going to go for the back triangle or something different. What's important is understanding where the jumping off points are, where you go from triangle to armbar or from straight jacket to armbar or armbar to straight jacket, because the power in jiu-jitsu, we keep coming back to this, is not in what you're doing, it's in what you could be doing. And when your partner knows that, it puts them in a very, very bad situation, and it's very, very easy to take advantage of them then, okay? Let's wrap up tonight with our pivot drills, all right? So pivot drills are pretty straightforward. We're starting with a hop, but we're gonna rotate our hands about 45 degrees. So I'll squat and I'll rotate my hands about 45 degrees and I'm gonna hop up and then allow my body to turn at a 90-degree angle, all right? So about a 45 and a hop and turn, all right? Let's go. We'll do these for about a minute and then we're gonna get the ball, all right? Let's go. Nice and easy. Get used to letting your body rotate. All right. Now we're going to look at using the actual ball. Or your partner's body or a dummy. I like the ball, just gives me a different look at it. So now I'm going to press down on the ball. Again, 45-degree angle with my hands. As I pivot, I'm going to bring my leg over and finish the phantom armbar. All right? Let's go. Do a couple minutes and we'll be good. All right? Let's get started. Oh. All right. Let me slide over here. Any questions, you guys?
No questions for me, thank you.
Jesse, you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions.
Guys, thank you. So this week, I mean, we repped out a lot of armbar drills. We did the same class 3 nights, right? And it's like, sometimes like, oh God, okay, here we go again. But at the same time, like, you know, we're trying to drill deep into one area with the hopes that, you know, we see some good improvements by kind of fine tuning the machine right now. So good work, you guys. I encourage you, watch jujitsu as much as you can. If you could shadow grapple or practice grapple, even with your dummy, you can still get plenty of just like repetition style work, and it's good to exercise that pathway.
It's really hard to watch jujitsu when there's the dark side of wrestling on YouTube also, and you grew up watching wrestling.
I know, right? You get sidetracked.
Nope.
Did you watch WrestleMania?
No, I didn't.
Dude, it's I mean, if you sign up for WWE, you get the first month free and you could just cancel it. Like that's what I always do every year to watch WrestleMania. But
that's what I used to do on Match.com years ago. I would do the week free trial, just like hit up Hell the Girls real quick, try to get emails and bounce out.
You're on the discount match service.
Yeah.
But WrestleMania didn't have an audience. It was really weird, dude.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah, definitely different. So, all right, guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
Thanks, guys. See you.
Have a
All
seat.
Bye, guys.
Later.
See you.
Complain.